Good afternoon, students, and welcome to online learning. This is for Module 3, and the subject code is E23204, Listening and Speaking. Unit 6, Life Choices. Be curious. What can you see in the photo? Start thinking. Where is the boy? What is he trying to decide? What big decisions will you need to make in your life? In vocabulary, we'll be learning about life events, containers and materials, verbs and prepositions. In the language focus, we will deal with be going to and will, and present continuous for future. Today's content will be vocabulary, life events, containers and materials. We're then going to do a reading, a magazine quiz. We will see a video, discover culture, time for an adventure. We're then going to do speaking, agreeing and disagreeing. Language, be going to and present continuous for future. And then a review. With the aims of this lesson, I can talk about important life events. I can talk about my future plans and make predictions about my future. I can understand information about important events in our lives. I can make plans for next week with my friends. And I can agree and disagree with someone's opinion. Vocabulary, life events.
Match the pictures with the life events, then listen, check, and repeat. Learn to drive, get married, start school, leave home, go to university, have children, leave school, take a year out, be born, get a job.
Listen, check, and repeat. A.
Get a job.
B. Leave home. C.
Start school.
D. Be born. E.
Get married.
F. Take a year out. G.
Learn to drive.
H. Have children. I.
Go to university.
J. Leave school.
Now let's match the live events with the pictures. Here the live events are: A will be get a job. B, leave home. C, start school. D, be born. E, get married. F, take a year out. G. Learn to drive. H. Have children. I. Go to university. And J. Leave school. Let's check our answers. Well done. Exercise 2. Write the events in exercise 1 in the order they usually happen. Then compare your list with your partner. So let's look at the list again. Learn to drive, get married, start school, etc. So number 1 will be born. Number 2, start school, and so on. Students, I'd like you to complete exercise 2 by yourselves. Let's see exercise 3. Your turn. Which of the things in exercise 1 would you like, would you not like to do? So here you can think about life events that you would like to do at some point in your life, or you would not like to do. Exercise 4. Write sentences about the things you'd like to do and give more information. Example, I'd like to learn to drive when I'm 18, and I'd like to go to university to study history. Exercise 5. Work with a partner. Ask and answer questions about your sentences from exercise 4. Try to find something different. So this we can do when we are in the classroom, but you could write some questions such as, would you like to learn to drive? Yes, I'd like to learn to drive when I'm 18. What about you?
Reading, a magazine quiz.
Exercise 1. What do you want to do when you're older? Tell your partner. Read the quiz and choose A, B, or C. The quiz will help you decide what you would like to be or do in the future.
What do you want to be when you grow up? Do you ever think about what you'll be when you're older? Try our quiz to find out. After school, you find a very sick dog in the street. Do you take it to the vet?
Are you serious? Look at those teeth. If I go near it, it'll bite me.
Yes, of course. Where's the nearest animal hospital?
Yes, and then when it's better, I may write a short story about it.
You're leaving school soon. Are you and your classmates going to have a party?
No, I don't really like parties. I'm going to study for university.
Yes, I'm going to make sure everybody has a good time.
Yes, we are. I'm going to make a poster.
You're 18 and at university. What are you going to do in the holidays?
I'm going to stay at home and study for the next year of the course.
A playgroup near my home needs volunteers. I'm going to look after children.
What? I'm not going to think about university until I'm 20. I'm going to take a year out and travel around the world.
You finish university. What next?
I'm sure I'll get a job in a big company. Then I'll get married and have children.
Perhaps I'll take a year out and work for a charity.
I think I'll write an article about student life.
Many young people from around the world take a year out between school and university. They call it a gap year. It's a time to have new experiences, travel, and learn about life in different countries.
Read the key below. Work with a partner. Do you agree with what the quiz says about you? Why or why not? How many A's, B's, and C's have you got? If you got mostly A's, you don't enjoy strange situations. You prefer planning things. Think about working in a library or an office. If your answers were mostly B, you love helping animals and people. What about being a vet, a nurse, a dentist, or a doctor? If your answers are mostly C's, you're obviously a creative person. We suggest you work as a writer, an artist, a musician, or an actor. And if your answers are a mix, you like doing lots of different things, but you also like being with people. How about being a teacher, a tour guide, or a police officer?
Explore phrasal verbs. Find 3 phrasal verbs in the quiz. What do they mean? If we look at the quiz, the title will give us an idea of a phrasal verb. Grow up is one of them. Find out is another. Look after is the third one. So these are types of phrasal verbs. You will understand more about phrasal verbs when we do exercise 5. Complete the sentences with the words in the box. Go out, grow up, try on, find out, write down, get on, and get off. So these are examples of phrasal verbs. Complete the sentences. When I want to be a famous musician. When I grow up. On Saturday afternoon, I often, with my friends, we ride our bikes to go to the skate park. On Saturday afternoon, I often go out with my friends. We ride our bikes or go to the skate park. Number 3. To get to my house, the bus at the cinema, and then opposite the park. Get on and get off. To get to my house, get on the bus at the cinema and then get off opposite the park. Number 4, I always new English words in my notebook. Write down. Number 5, I never t-shirts before I buy them. I know my size. I never try on. And number 6, if I want to know more about something, I use the internet to find out. Let's check our phrasal verbs here. Well done. Let's practice reading our sentences. Number 1, when I grow up, I want to be a famous musician. Number 2, on Saturday afternoon, I often go out with my friends. We ride our bikes or go to the skate park. Number 3. To get to my house, get on the bus at the cinema and then get off opposite the park. Number 4. I always write down new English words in my notebook. Number 5. I never try on t-shirts before I buy them. I know my size. And number 6. If I want to know more about something, I use the internet to find out. Your turn. Write the sentences in exercise 5 about you, so most of them are true and some of them are false. Example: when I grow up, I want to be a clown in a circus. So this was number 1. When I grow up, I want to be a famous musician. So you change the latter part of the sentence to what you want to be. Okay, so these are examples. You can do them in your notebook. Exercise 7. Work with a partner. Compare your sentences. Can you guess which are false? When I grow up, I want to be a clown in a circus. That's not true. You want to be a doctor. So we can do this exercise once we come back to the classroom, or if you have a partner to practice with, this will be a good idea.
Discover culture. Time for an adventure.
Work with a partner. Look at the pictures. Which of the places in the pictures would you most like to visit? Why? 2. Work with a partner. Write down 3 things you think you will see in Italy, South Africa, and Madagascar in the video. This looks like a picture of Italy. This one seems like Madagascar. And this picture, which is our background, looks like South Africa. This is the island of Madagascar, South Africa, and Italy in Europe. Exercise 3. Watch the video without sound and check your answers to exercise 2.
Time for an adventure. I'm going to leave school soon, and I want to have an adventure. So I'm taking a year out after secondary school. What will I see and do? I don't know. Maybe I'll go to Italy. I love cooking. They've got a young chef's program in Rome, and I'll learn to cook Italian food. There are also lots of historical towns and cities to visit. Perhaps I'll go to Siena and be a volunteer. I can help to repair old historical buildings. Some buildings in Siena are 700 years old. Or perhaps I'll go to South Africa. There's a lot to do there. It has wide open spaces and green forests. Maybe I'll go hiking there. Or I'll visit a village and meet people my age. There are lots of different animals in South Africa. I love animals, so perhaps I'll help sick or hurt animals. Or maybe I'll go to Madagascar for my adventure. There are amazing animals there too. And lots of dinosaur bones. Maybe I'll help an archaeologist look for a T-Rex. So, Italy, South Africa, or Madagascar? Which one is the best for me? I'm not sure, but I do know that it'll all be exciting.
Exercise 4. Which activities can you do in Italy, South Africa, and Madagascar? Complete the table with the words in the box. Now we can complete the table because we've seen the video. So in Italy, you can help to repair old buildings and learn to cook. In Madagascar, you can help look for dinosaur bones. In South Africa, you can visit a village and meet people my age. And in South Africa, you can also go hiking. Let's check our answers. Well done. Exercise 5. Watch the video again with sound and check your answers to exercise 4. Exercise 6. Test your memory. Choose the best summary of the video. The girl knows exactly where she wants to go on her gap year. She has no idea what she's going to do. She has a few options, but she's not sure what will happen. I think the best summary for this will be the third one. Let's check our answers. Well done. Exercise 7. What activities can young people on a gap year do in your country? Write down 3 ideas. Example, they can visit the museum. They can learn some words in our language. You can write some more ideas. And exercise 8. Work in small groups. Compare your ideas from exercise 7. Then choose the best 3. They can visit the museum. That's true. They can also learn some words in our language. So, your turn. We will practice when we come back to the classroom. So now you can work on your ideas.
Speaking. Agreeing and disagreeing.
Real talk. What are you going to do when you leave school? Exercise 1. Watch the teenagers in the video. Match them with what they are going to do when they leave school. A. Buy something. B. Be a scientist. C. Study a language. D. Learn to drive. E. Work for a charity. F. Play a sport. G. Work. H. Move to another country. I. Be the leader of a country. And J. visit someone.
What are you going to do when you leave school?
I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I like science. Who knows? Maybe I'll cure the common cold.
When I leave school, I'm going to go to university and study Chinese.
I'm going to be a professional football player.
When I finish school, I'm going to buy a motorcycle and ride around the world with a friend.
When I leave school, I'm not going to go to university. I'm going to get a job.
I'm going to be a politician. Maybe I'll even be the president one day.
What are you going to do when you leave school?
Now that we've seen the video, what are the teenagers going to do when they leave school? Speaker number 1 would like to be a scientist. Speaker number 2 wants to study Chinese, so wants to study a language. Speaker number 3 wants to play football, so play a sport. Speaker number 4 wants to buy a bike and travel around with his friend, so buy something. Speaker number 5 doesn't want to go to university, wants to start work. And speaker number 6 wants to be a leader of a country. She says she might also want to be the president, who knows. Let's check our answers. Well done. Exercise 3. Listen to the conversation. Why does the reporter want to talk to Katie?
Listen to the conversation.
Excuse me, we're looking for young people to tell us their ideas about some different topics.
Okay, I'll help you. What are the topics?
Well, here's the first one. All young people should take a year out. Do you agree?
Absolutely. You can learn a lot about life in other countries and also about yourself.
Now, do you think everybody should learn to drive?
Maybe. But I also think we should use bikes, buses and trains more.
But what about people who live in the countryside? There aren't any buses there.
I suppose you're right. What's the next one?
University students should get a job in the holidays. What's your opinion?
I disagree. Students should travel and enjoy themselves. Any more questions?
No, that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Let's move on to exercise 4. Complete the conversation with the useful language, then listen, check your answers. Useful language being, do you think? Absolutely. I disagree. Do you agree? Maybe, but I also think. What's your opinion? I suppose you're right. Complete the conversation. Reporter, excuse me, we are looking for young people to tell us their ideas about some different topics. Okay, I'll help you. What are the topics? Well, Here's the first one. All young people should take a year out. Do you agree? And then Katie replies, absolutely. You can learn a lot about life in other countries and also about yourself. Then the reporter asks, now, do you think everybody should learn to drive? And Katie says, maybe, but I also think we should use bikes, buses, and trains more. Reporter then asks, what about people who live in the countryside? There aren't any buses there. Katie replies, I suppose you're right. I suppose you're right. What's the next one? Reporter, university students should get a job in the holidays. What's your opinion? Katie replies, I disagree. Students should travel and enjoy themselves. Any more questions? No, that's it. Thank you very much for your time. Let's check our answers. Well done. Let's move on to exercise 5. Work with a partner. Practice the conversation in exercise 4. That is the conversation we've just finished between the reporter and Katie. Exercise 6. Look at the ideas below and use the useful language to write your own opinions. Children shouldn't start school until they're 6. Young people should leave home when they're 18. It's better to study at a university in another town than one in your town. You should always look for a job where you'll earn a lot of money. Students, you are supposed to give your opinion whether you agree with these sentences or not, and why. So you can work on this at home in your notebooks, and we will discuss them when we are back in the classroom. Exercise 7. Choose 3 of the ideas from exercise 6. That's this one. Change the words in bold in the conversation in exercise 4. So these are the words in bold. So you have to change those words. And practice the conversation with your partner. So number 1, children shouldn't start school until they're 6. And the example, I'm not sure I agree. I think younger children enjoy playing with their friends. So similarly, you can make other questions like these ones. You can substitute them in exercise 4 and give your own opinions or ideas.
Language focus. Be going to and present continuous for future.
Be going to. Complete the examples from the text. In every part, we have to use going to. So be going to. I'm going to stay at home. You are going to study in London. She is going to get a job. And the negative form, I'm not going. I'm not going to think about university until. They aren't going to take a year out. He isn't going to go to university. And for questions, am I going to get married? Are you going to have a party? Is he going to take a year out? Let's check our answers. Well done. This is the grammar reference. Be going to affirmative, negative, questions, and short answers. In the affirmative form, I am going to work. He is going to work. She is going to work. It is going to work. You are going to work. We are going to work. And they are going to work. In the negative form, I am not going to work. He isn't going to work. She isn't going to work. And it isn't going to work. You aren't going to work. We aren't going to work. And they aren't going to work. To form questions, am I going to work? Is he going to work? Is she going to work? And is it going to work? Are you going to work? Are we going to work? And are they going to work? And now for short answers. Yes, I am. Yes, he is. Yes, she is. And yes, it is. Yes, you are. Yes, we are. And yes, they are. And for the negative form of short answers, no, I'm not. No, he isn't. No, she isn't. And no, it isn't. No, you aren't. No, we aren't. And no, they aren't. We use be going to talk about future plans and intentions. Example, I'm going to work in another country in the future. We form with be plus going to plus infinitive or the verb. Example, they're going to leave school this year. The be form is they are going to and the infinitive leave. We form the negative with be plus not plus going to plus infinitive or verb. Example, he isn't going to take a year out. We form questions with be before the subject. Are they going to get married this year? So, be is the are here. So the be form is are in this question. They is the subject. And going to plus the infinitive, get. the verb get. So, are they going to get married this year? Next, we form information question with WH question word before be. So, is the be form. So, this is the WH. What is she going to study at university? Complete the sentences. Use the correct form of be going to and the verbs in brackets. These are the verbs: not play, get married, not leave, have, learn, and stay. Number 1, not play. So, we aren't going to play. We aren't going to play tennis after school today. Number 2, question. We will begin with, are you going to get married when you're older? Are you going to get married when you're older? Number 3, I not leave school. I'm not going to. And the verb, I'm not going to leave school until I'm 18. Number 4, my friends have a party next week. My friends are going to have. My friends are going to have a party next week. Are is the be form of my friends. Number 5, my cousin learn to drive next summer. My cousin is going to learn. My cousin is going to learn to drive next summer. And number 6, where your brother stay when he goes to Australia. The be form will be is. Where is your brother going to stay when he goes to Australia? Number 6, where is your brother going to stay when he goes to Australia? Let's check our answers. Well done. Now let's practice reading the sentences. Number 1, we aren't going to play tennis after school today. Number 2, are you going to get married when you're older? Number 3, I'm not going to leave school until I'm 18. 4, my friends are going to have a party next week. 5, my cousin is going to learn to drive next summer. 6, where is your brother going to stay when he goes to Australia? Let's try exercise 2. Write sentences about you with the correct form of be going to. For number 1, the structure, I get married before I go to university. So here you have to think about the affirmative or negative form of these sections. Number 1. I'm not going to get married before I go to university. Let's do number 2. Let's do all these orally. Number 2. We watch a film in class tomorrow. The affirmative form will be we are going to watch a film in class tomorrow. And the negative form, we aren't going to watch a film in class tomorrow. Number 3, my parents go to the cinema at the weekend. The affirmative form will be, my parents are going to go to the cinema at the weekend. And the negative form will be, my parents aren't going to go to the cinema at the weekend. 4. The sections are, my friend and I travel around the world before we go to university. So the affirmative form will be, my friends and I are going to travel around the world before we go to university. And the negative form would be, my friends and I aren't going to travel around the world before we go to university. Number 5. The sections are, I buy a sports car when I grow up. So the affirmative form will be, I'm going to buy a sports car when I grow up. Or the negative form would be, I'm not going to buy a sports car when I grow up. 6. The sections, my aunt come to stay with us next week. Affirmative form will be, my aunt is going to come to stay with us next week. And the negative form, my aunt isn't going to come to stay with us next week. Will versus be going to. Complete the examples from the text on page 64. Then choose the correct headings. 3, 4. Intentions, predictions. Perhaps I take a year out. Perhaps I'm going to take a year out. For number 4, intentions and predictions. I stay at home and study. You would use, I'm going to stay at home and study. When we make a decision in the moment or we offer to help someone, we use will. Let's look at the conversation. I can't do my homework. Don't worry, I'll help you. We don't use I'm going to help you because this is a decision that is taken at the moment, so we use will. And this is the contraction of I will. I'll help you. So, I can't do my homework. Don't worry, I'll help you. Exercise 4. Complete the conversation with the correct form of be going to or will and the verb in brackets. Then listen and check. My brother, we have to use the go form of the verb and be going to. So, my brother is going My brother is going to go to university next year. Jane, the be form will be I'm not going to go to university until I'm much older. And then Dan says, what? So the be form will be what are you going to do? What are you going to do instead? And Jane replies, the be form of Jane would be I'm going to take a year out. I want to travel around the world. Dan says, that's a good idea. I'm sure a great time. I'm sure the be form will be I'm sure you will. So we'll use you have a great. You'll have a great time. And then Jane says, go to the cinema later. The be form will be I'm going to go to the cinema later. Do you want to come? And Dan replies, I can't. He has to study. So he will say, I'm going to study. I'm going to study all afternoon. I've got an exam on Monday. And then Jane says, oh, good luck. I'm sure we have to use the will form. I'm sure you will or you'll pass. Thanks. Let's check our answers. Well done. Now let's listen to the conversation.
My brother is going to go to university next year.
I'm not going to go to university until I'm much older.
What are you going to do instead?
I'm going to take a year out. I want to travel around the world.
That's a good idea. I'm sure you'll have a great time.
I'm going to go to the cinema later. Do you want to come?
I can't. I'm going to study all afternoon. I've got an exam on Monday.
Okay. Good luck. I'm sure you'll pass.
Thanks.
Exercise 5. Your turn. Complete the sentences so they are true for you with the correct form of will or be going to. This you can do in your notebook, students. After this class, my classmates and I are going to have lunch. So students, you can complete these sentences in your notebook. Exercise 6. Work with a partner. Ask and answer questions about your sentences in exercise 5. What are you and your friends going to do after this class? We're going to have lunch. What about you? So, this is an example for number 1. So, according to your sentences, try to ask questions and give a reply. So we can practice this once we are back in the classroom. Listening a conversation. Number 1. Olivia is showing Lisa a photo of her brother, Matt. What do you think he's doing? He has a plastic bag and he seems to be on the beach. So what do you think he's doing with his plastic bag? He's probably collecting something. Number 2, listen to Lisa and Olivia talking about the photo. Check your ideas to exercise 1.
Listen to the conversation.
Hey Lisa, look at this photo that my brother Matt sent me.
Let's have a look. Where is he?
He's in Kenya.
Kenya? Really? What's he doing there?
He's taking a year out, you know, before he goes to university.
Wow, lucky him.
Yeah, I'm going to do it too when I'm 18.
What's his job exactly?
He's working on an eco project, you know, for the environment. He phoned last night and told us all about it. He was really excited.
What kind of project is it?
Well, they're collecting and recycling plastic bags from the beaches in Kenya, and then local people make them into handbags and they sell them to tourists.
Cool! How long's he staying?
Well, he's going to be on the project there for another 3 months, and then he's flying to South Africa.
South Africa?
Yeah, we've got family there. He's staying with our cousins in Cape Town. He wants to try to find a job.
Is he going to do any surfing?
Yes, definitely. He loves surfing. He wants to get a job in a beach bar or something. Then he can surf every day.
It sounds amazing. He'll have a great time.
Yeah, it's an adventure. I think it's great. I'm definitely going to take a year out in the future.
Where are you going to go?
I want to go around Europe. You know, all the big cities. Paris, Rome. What about you?
Oh, I don't know. It's a long way in the future. I want to finish school first. Then I can think about that. I'd definitely like to help people, like your brother's doing.
Well, you can do something positive now and help me finish my homework.
Number 3, listen again, complete the sentences. Listen and complete the sentences. Olivia's brother Matt is in Kenya. 2, he's collecting and recycling plastic bags. 3, he's going to South Africa to visit their cousins. 4, in South Africa, he wants to get a job in a beach bar. Number 5, in her year out, Olivia wants to go to, I think, Europe. And 6, Lisa would like to, in the future, help people in the future. Let's check our answers. Well done. Let's just read the sentences. Olivia's brother Matt is in Kenya. Kenya is in East Africa. 2, He's collecting and recycling plastic bags. 3. He's going to South Africa to visit their cousins. 4. In South Africa, he wants to get a job in a beach bar. 5. In her year out, Olivia wants to go to Europe. 6. Lisa would like to help people in the future. Vocabulary, containers and materials. Match the pictures with the words in the box. Then listen, check, and repeat. Plastic bag, cartons, cardboard box, glass jars, cans, paper bag, crisp packets, and plastic bottles.
Listen, check, and repeat. A.
Cardboard box.
B. Plastic bottles. C.
Cans.
D.
Glass jars.
E.
Paper bag.
F.
Plastic bag.
G.
Cartons.
H.
Crisp packet.
Exercise 5. Work with a partner. How can we reuse containers in exercise 4? Write sentences. Example: we can use glass jars to grow plants. We can fill plastic bottles with sand and use them for bowling. Okay, these are very creative ideas. So you can think about the vocabulary for exercise 4 and think of how you can recycle these items. Exercise 6. Work in small groups. Compare your sentences from exercise 5. Who can think of the most unusual ways to reuse the containers? Example: we can use glass jars to grow plants. That's a good idea. We can also fill plastic bottles with sand and use them for bowling. So the most creative ideas will be interesting to show how we can recycle things that are left at the beach after people have finished. For example, they finish drinking a bottle of water and then they just throw it on the beach.
Review.
Containers and materials. Write the containers from the box in the correct column. Some can go in more than one column. Paper, plastic, glass, and metal. Jars can be glass, bottles, plastic, cartons, paper, cans, metal, cardboard box, paper, crisp packet, plastic, bottles, glass. So bottles can be plastic or glass. Let's check our answers. Well done. Look at the diary, then write sentences in the present continuous. Today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And these are the activities in the morning And these are the activities in the afternoon. Number 1. Tomorrow morning, I'm doing an exam. Two, this afternoon, I'm having a guitar lesson. 3, on Sunday morning, we visit our grandparents. Visiting our grandparents. On Sunday morning, we're visiting our grandparents. Number 4, I basketball on Saturday morning. I'm playing basketball on Saturday morning. 5, on Friday afternoon, Harry a party. Harry's having a party. 6, my friends and I at Mario's Pizza on Saturday afternoon. My friends and I are eating at Mario's Pizza on Saturday afternoon. Well done. Students, now that we have completed our lesson for today, please go to Google Classroom to complete the assignment. Thank you.